Yeah, it works, and you can still hear the sound, which is crazy.
All right, everybody, welcome to Hot Couch Potato, the podcast where we talk about video games and play games that make us cry. My name is Brett, aka Boo Wop. I'm here with my man's Rick, aka The Do Perfect Day. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? Today is a cold, cloudy day, by the way. I'm just gonna tell the weather every single episode. A storm, cloudy day, or some shit like that. But yeah, not bad. Just got done babysitting this weekend and watching Thor, so I finally was able to see that
dude.
movie.
Finally. What did you think?
Yeah, it's amazing. I really like the formula that they use throughout all of the Marvel movies. You know, they kept it consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is intertwined, and stuff that you remember like comes back into this movie. So I don't know. I definitely recommend checking this checking the movie out if you haven't seen it. I don't know how long it's going to be in theaters still. I don't think you can watch it online unless you're pretty good at searching through Google.
Yeah, dude, Disney has that down pat. I mean, no spoilers, but I think this might be the best Marvel movie in a while, man.
Yeah, like it had a very solid story. Everything wasn't rushed, and everything was it flowed all together pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What did you think about the after credits scene? You think they were reaching with that one just to connect everything, or do you think it made sense?
Which scene?
Okay, never mind. We can't spoil it, dude.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to talk about this after the podcast.
But yeah, dude, I like that movie a lot. I haven't even watched Spider-Man yet, dude.
Oh, what? Really? You can? I know a website where you can watch it. I mean, I don't know any websites where you can watch it, but I watched it online.
I heard it was on DVD now.
Damn!
Didn't it just come out earlier this year?
I guess. I thought it was like a month ago or 2 months ago.
That's what I thought too, but someone was telling me it was on DVD already, and I'm tripping.
Holy crap!
I have no idea. Maybe they're
like I just watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
It's really pretty good. It's pretty good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I can send you that. I mean, I can show you. You know, Google searches. Maybe we'll stumble upon it.
We'll stumble across it. Okay. Look forward to that. A lot happened this week in the gaming world, man. But I think the biggest news is that the Xbox One X released, which is objectively the most powerful console that is out right now. They keep on talking about teraflops in their GPU and stuff, and they have space age. What is it, man? Like air vapor CPU cooling and all that.
Oh, it was that one. The one where it has like, I forgot, hydraulics and vaping machines inside. It vapes with you. I'm not a hater of Xbox One X, but I haven't really looked at the reviews and, you know, the specifications of what's going on and all that. Didn't it release like a couple days ago?
Yeah, on October 7th, so last Tuesday it released. And yeah, I mean, the reviews have been good so far. It's just an upgrade though. It's not a full, like, you wouldn't call this a PlayStation 5, you know, competitor.
Oh, the next gen kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's more of a PlayStation 4 Pro. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
They're just like the PlayStation 4 Pro. There aren't games that are specifically just for Xbox One X. I think you just play regular Xbox games on there, but you get 4K resolution or high def resolution, higher def than the Xbox One would provide you. And I think right now there's only a handful of games that you can really play in true 4K.
Yeah, like
I think it's like,
I think the games have to make it up to 4K in order to be able to see it, and you have to have a 4K TV too. So.
That is it too. So I think this is definitely a console for the elites. I think maybe some of the games that you can play that really take advantage of the Xbox One X or that are made for it are like Assassin's Creed and maybe Forza, maybe Gears of War. I know all the titles that are exclusive to Xbox for sure. Or the ones that you see the YouTube commercial and it has the Xbox play after the trailer. Those are the ones that are made for the Xbox One X for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. Just like with PS4, I don't think I'm hyped for this, man. Are you gonna pick one up eventually, or wait for the next Xbox?
Nah, I think I'm at that age where I'm just gonna go down one route, even though there's like a lot of games that I would like to play. Actually, two routes because I would want to pick up the Switch, so I can be able to play this. But yeah, normally I used to get like all the consoles and
Yeah.
then maybe sell it back in order to get the next gen console of that. But for this Xbox One X and Xbox One, I think I'm just gonna put it down because all of our friends play on the PS4, so and then they're upgrading to PC, so it's gonna be awesome playing. We're just playing a couple of games together, and it just reminded me of that synergy that we always had.
Playing co-op games, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's true too. I was like you. I would always try and pick up all the consoles as I could. But I mean, we're talking about when Xbox 360 was selling for $99, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much does the Xbox One X cost. We're gonna quick research right now.
I think it's $300 now.
$300 for Xbox One X?
Oh, the X version? No, I think that's $400, maybe $300.
$500, man. Yeah. Yeah. We're not gonna do that anytime soon, dude. The only thing that I think appeals to me is it's backwards compatible with everything. Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, everything. I still have.
You're trying to sell me this
I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just saying this is what appeals to me, and this is what piqued my interest. I don't think it's available for everything yet. I know they're working towards it, but man, I sold my Xbox, but I still have all my old games. All the Gears of War, all the Halos. If I could play those on a console again without having to buy, the remaster or remake version, that would be amazing, dude. I get to relive all those memories, man. That'd be so great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I think it was the Xbox One. I sold it to my friend, and he was like mentioning that he was looking forward to the backwards compatibility stuff, but there was only, like you were saying, a certain amount of games that were on the thing that he can play, and some of the games don't work properly, but there's games that are backwards compatible. I'm not sure, I can't verify, but yeah.
I know it's limited right now, but they're going to expand it for sure. I know there was even a problem with the Xbox 360 trying to play regular Xbox games. It was a little bit tricky because you had to, I guess, put in the disc and then it installed the game onto your hard drive from online from the Xbox store. And I, of course, had this Chinese hard drive that was like 500 gigs that cost $20. So since it wasn't official Microsoft, I couldn't install anything on it. It was just a pain in the butt, dude, to do it. But I think with what they're doing with Xbox One, whenever you put in the disc, Xbox will recognize what disc it is, and then you'll just be playing the emulator offline. I don't know if it installs or if you stream it, but the version you're playing will be a little bit more up to date. I don't think it'll be 4K, but it's better than plugging in your original Xbox and playing games that way. So that's the only thing I think that appeals to me, man. Sony has been horrible at backwards compatibility, dude. I've bought every game I own on PlayStation 2, I think, twice. Once for the PlayStation 3 and again for the PlayStation 4. I've definitely done that with Bully. I've bought that game like 4 times, dude.
Dang! Did you recommend that game in one of the podcasts?
I don't know, maybe, man, but that game is great. And I remember I bought it on PlayStation 3. I was like, oh, cool, I get to unlock trophies in this one. Nope, there's no trophies. It's just the PlayStation 2 version.
Oh, no.
And then I think a month later, they came out with it on PlayStation 4 with trophies. And I go, oh, yeah, man, I'm going to buy it on PlayStation 4. And I did. Still haven't played it yet, dude.
Wow.
I haven't played any of them, bro. The backlog grows, man.
Holy crap, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, I don't think it's until recently that PlayStation or Sony even started bundling up their digital content to where you have access to it on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and even the Vita. I think there's a few games that allow that, like Final Fantasy X remake or Hotline Miami. You know, you buy it once and you can play it across all systems. But those are
I
like,
think it's because everything is still profitable on the PlayStation
yeah,
3. People still buying games, so they're like, okay, let's separate that
yeah.
versus forcing everybody to switch over to the next gen console kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Idiots like Buwop are buying this game 5 times. Let's keep it going, man.
Oh, actually, too, I remember now. It was the developers. Developers were saying it's kind of hard to be able to have backwards compatibility issue. It costs a lot of money to make their games backwards compatible. Like they're kind of like two different systems that you have to develop the game for, and I don't know. It was just saying it was a developer problem too.
Mm-hmm. I know it's with the hardware as well.
Yeah.
The CD reader in the PlayStation 4 is way different from PlayStation 3, and that's way different from PlayStation 2. So that's why you couldn't play PlayStation 2 games on the newer PlayStation 4 consoles. It just ended up being too expensive for Sony. So there's a lot of factors that go into it and make us cry and force us to buy games 5 times over and over.
I know. If they come out with Red Dead on the PS4, I'm gonna buy it again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it like 3 times for me and 3 other people, man. We can play online. Yeah. Speaking of Sony, we are going to start our countdown to PSX, man. It's coming. It is
Yeah.
coming in 25 days, dude.
No,
PlayStation.
it's so far.
Dude, it's gonna come. It's gonna pass super quick. PlayStation Experience is. I think it's turned into more of a Sony fan convention. You know, they might as well call it PlayStation Con or something like that, like Comic Con. You know, because it's all just PlayStation games, PlayStation consoles. They show off all their new stuff. Last year we played a lot of demos of games that just came out recently. We saw games that aren't out yet. Today we'll talk about the press conference. I think the biggest thing they're changing this year is the press conference isn't at the beginning of the first day. It's actually going to be on Friday night. They call it like a conference convention preview or something like that. I forgot what they called it, but they totally named it something different. But it's going to be on Friday at 8 p.m. instead of Saturday, like an hour before the convention starts. So it should be interesting. I think this was the most exciting part of our PlayStation experience last year. They announced a lot of games, man. Just to name a couple, Last of Us 2 got announced at the very end, and Parappa the Rapper remake got announced at the very end. Those were huge titles for me. I know I bought Parappa as soon as it came out, dude. That game is too much fun for me, and it reminds me a lot of playing PlayStation 1 in the past. You think about that, man? I mean, if you really played it, you could finish that game in 40 minutes, dude. And that
Damn,
game
yeah.
cost $50-$60 back in the day.
Yeah. But it was so good.
I know, it was so good, dude. And you would, though. You would replay it over and over. You know, when you had your friends over, you would play it and like rap along with the songs and all that shit, dude. Try to get the cool rating, which is super hard, man. But yeah, dude, these conferences are a big deal. And I think last week we spoke to our fears on how it might be a little bit watered down this year because they announced so much at Tokyo Game Show and Paris Games Week. But I'll throw it over to you, man. Are you excited for this press conference? What do you think they'll show out?
I think they're going to be working on a lot of VR games. They're going to be pushing a lot of VR stuff since from last year. I think half of the games are actually in VR, and even the games that were already out, they're releasing the VR version of that. And it was just fun to play all these types of VR games. Just to see what their take is on where or the direction that they're going for. And I've noticed too, like the games that we're usually excited for are the games that are already released, like the series. So if the original first game did so well, we're like super stoked and excited for a part 2. And so I guess it just goes off of how well the series did or is starting off and how long it will last. And, like, for example, Red Dead, we're looking for Red Dead 2. and all that. But when they announced like new games that we'd never seen before, we're like, oh yeah, cool. But when they announce games that there's a part two of it, we're like, oh my god, fuck yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be
Mm-hmm.
great and all that. But for this year, I'm just looking forward to hanging out with everybody and playing games together, and you know, it's just a bigger group this time. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll be excited to see. I don't think they're gonna show Red Dead 2. I think it's a reach, a
I
super super
think
hard
they
reach.
will. I believe.
So I think Rockstar, yeah, whenever they show a Red Dead 2 trailer, they show the PlayStation logo at the end. So maybe, but I don't think they'll have anything in the press conference. Maybe on the floor. Maybe on the floor there'll be a demo. And that's even still a reach because there's only been 2 minute trailers out for this game. There's less than 3 minutes of content out for Red Dead 2 right now, dude. So I think it's a
Yeah.
super duper reach. But I'll be hopeful. And I think the only other big one I'm looking forward to in the actual press conference is going to be Ghost of Tsushima. Hopefully they have a lot more details on that. Maybe it'll be on the floor too. I think this is a game that's done or almost done and is going to come out next year already. Because after reading about it, it's been in development for 3 years, I think. Like ever since they made the last Infamous, they've been making this game. So I think it's almost done, and it's gonna be in our hands soon. Whether it's gonna be at PSX, we'll see, dude. But they always manage to surprise us with at least one thing at the press conference, man. Um,
Yeah.
what would
Final
be,
Fantasy 7.
dude? That's even a reach, man. They haven't shown anything on that legit in like 2 years, man. The last time they did
Surprise! It's
was
coming out next year.
PSX
Surprise.
2015 was the last time they showed anything on that. And the other thing is they usually drop something, right? They usually drop a demo that you could play the night of. Um, I think it was Parappa you could download last time, and they had a bunch of games. I think Let It Die, I think, dropped during PSX 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think, dropped during PSX during the conference. Um, so they have these little games that they just drop right away, man. What are you hoping they do for those?
Yeah, maybe for like Red Dead that you can take home. I don't know. Maybe I think the only games that I remember like playing like the demos is, yeah, like you're saying, like Parappa the Rapper. These third party indie games was mostly available for us to download, but like the hardcore games, I didn't really see much of the demo. So maybe I'm guessing Monster Hunter, since they're showing a lot of trailers for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they said
Yeah,
that they were
December
going to
9th.
be dropping. Yeah, so I don't really know if that counts, but yeah, it's just mainly the indie games is where I saw the demos for, and maybe PlayStation themes. If you played a lot of those demos to begin with, so
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. I think the unspoken one too. I'm just gonna mention it. It might jinx us, dude. But Bloodborne 2 is still not out yet or mentioned. Who knows, dude? Maybe PlayStation is just saving it for December, man. I hope they at least mention Bloodborne 2, dude. That would be amazing, bro. I think that would be the killer. If they were like, the whole year they knew that Bloodborne 2 was going to come out, but they don't say anything until December. That would be so gangster, dude. That'd be so crazy of Sony to do. That's.
Yeah, that's how they do with like the Dark Souls. They don't really mention a lot of it, and then they
Mhm,
release it like, I don't know, a couple months later after they say something or a trailer comes out.
mhm.
Who knows? They might release something this year or maybe 5 years from now.
Nah,
Who
man, I think
knows?
they're gonna announce it this year, and it'll come out next fall or something like that. I think that's my super duper reach. I mean, X or Red Dead Redemption 2 is a little bit of a reach, but it might be possible, because that it already exists. Bloodborne 2, that we're not sure if that exists yet, so that's my super duper reach. If that happens during the press conference, I will cry, and I probably. Oh, and it's a good thing the floor isn't open right after. Otherwise, I'd be on the floor crying, playing demos, dude.
So it's only going to be the press conference that Friday, and I guess
Yeah.
That's it. We just have to line up till for the next day.
Yeah, but we won't walk out the press conference and line up for the next day, dude. We'll get some sleep for sure, man.
No, we got to get that PlayStation Store and knock it out, at the start. Because I don't want to wait, I think it was on a Sunday that we waited and we were able to get in, but we were like the 100th person in line in order to get to that PlayStation Store, because that line spans around the entire convention. Do you remember that line?
Yeah, when we tried to get into it on Saturday, it was bad. We were just not even, it was lined up across the hall on the other side. We thought people were lining up for a game, but like, oh no, we're lining up for the store. And the store is like a mile away. You go, what the fuck are you for?
Yeah. That's what's crazy. And it's cool because they always have the PlayStation exclusives that you can't buy online or, out of the store. You have to buy it in that particular event. But that's what makes it really, really, really cool.
Yeah. I think, did you buy anything last year? I bought the Parappa beanie. I bought that.
Shoot. I don't remember. Yeah, I did buy something, but I totally forgot what I bought.
Your hat. I think it's your hat. You bought the hat.
Oh, right? Yeah. I bought a hat. Yeah. Bought a hat. I think I might buy another hat this year. Maybe. Or I'll buy maybe Joel's watch if it gets me so hyped up.
What? From Last of Us?
Well, I think that's already on the PlayStation Gear store
really?
online. Yeah, so maybe
crazy.
I'll buy something else. I don't know, something pretty exclusive. Maybe there will have like a Bloodborne jacket or a weapon or Red Dead bandanas. I would buy that definitely.
Yeah. Shit, dude. I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Because last year, too, I was a little bit tight on money, so I could only buy the Parappa beanie. But this year, man, depending on what they have, I'm going to buy the store out, dude. Oh, man. So from going to games that we hope to play into the future, we're going to transition into games that we are playing now, man. So what have you been playing this past week?
Luckily, I was able to play a lot of games, but I'm just going to kind of go down the list and maybe go through every one in detail.
Oh, yeah, man.
So,
is it that
long? No, it's not that long.
Okay.
But, yeah, we've been playing Neo. And, yeah, we tried to get back into it, so finished up that DLC, and the DLC it has like a couple of the bosses, together in one area that you have to fight, and it makes it so much easier to have co-op people with you. And so luckily you don't have to beat it by yourself. That's Neo's system. In order to co-op, you have to beat the mission in order to go back and play with another person. But luckily they listened to the fans, and me and you were able to tackle on these new missions together. Because some of them were fucking way ridiculous, like they had Nobunaga?
Yeah.
And
his
wife
and the Black Samurai
together, and then a Black Samurai, all in 3 people. Normally, the boss in the game, the story mode, you only fight them one at a time, and they're fucking hard enough. The second time, you have to fight both of them together, which I don't know how we did it. We managed to beat it by ourselves to get, now they put like 3 people together. So we had to do that whole divide and conquer system. And, Neo is really fun. If you really want to be a samurai or a ninja and you're waiting for Ghost of Tsushima, definitely recommend playing Neo. Especially to play with another person, to go through those levels. Even though sometimes it will be way too easy, it's just fun to play with other people.
Yeah, dude.
And so we've been playing that.
That just came out on Steam, actually. The complete edition of Neo. Yeah, Neo just came out on Steam.
Oh shoot!
I don't think the reception is that great because I think they still cap the FPS at 60. But of course, mods are going to come out later where you can graphically enhance the shit out of this game. But I know it's more or less the same. It's just a port of the PlayStation Pro. I don't think there's even a PlayStation Pro version, but it is out on Steam if you're thinking about picking it up and you only have a PC.
Yeah. Damn. Maybe I should pick that up. But Yeah, next game I've been playing is Bloodborne, and oh my god, it just reminded me of all of the tears from Dark Souls, the trauma, opening up my. This is why I haven't started Dark Souls 3. It's because of the fucking. Oh god, the stress. The stress is real. If you want stress while playing a game, you're supposed to be playing games to relieve stress, but it's the completely opposite. You got to build up the stress, tighten your butthole, and try to kick ass. But yeah, we beat most of the bosses. Me and you beat most of the bosses together, which made it so much easier. Again, but we were stuck on, I think, the last boss in one of the DLCs. And he's like pretty vital to the story of Bloodborne. But it's just, the previous boss before that, he was moving super fast, and we were able to defeat him like after, I don't know, 30 deaths.
Yeah, the Orphan of Cause. Yeah, man. He's just his second form too. He just jumps around, and every attack he does is a one-hit kill, man.
Yeah, so he was the fastest boss or NPC, whatever, like that moves incredibly fast, and he attacks so hard. So it's like you have to anticipate, his attacks, and maybe land a couple of shots in order to I don't know, hit him. But I was thinking, oh man, this is the hardest boss I've ever fought in Bloodborne. But nah. It was like the last boss is similar to one of the beginning bosses in the game. But the only thing is, the difference is he's on fire and he hits harder. So his attacks are pretty kind of slow. They're kind of predictable. The thing is, he has massive reach, and he just, I don't know, I can't predict him for the life of me.
And his attacks have an after effect too, where the fire can stagger you. I mean, there were times when I was just walking up to hit him, and he would move his knee, and his knee would stagger me but not do any damage. It's just because it's on fire. It's so horrible.
Yeah, man, that's what makes it so horrible. And then the hitbox is so weird too. It's like, I remember attacking so many times, just slashing away. My guy's trying to slash away, but then it turns out I'm just slashing the air. So it's like, how do you miss a giant monster? I was right next to him, but the thing is, the hitbox is like in a weird, in his stomach basically, and he's huge. So when I'm swinging my katana, I'm like I swing vertically, so I'm just like giving him a haircut. I was hitting between the legs, and I was like, dude, the only way I can hit him is like on his leg, but he moves his leg a lot, so I was like, damn. Yeah, so that's the boss I'm stuck at in order to beat and complete Bloodborne. Yeah, and then the other games I've been playing, Mario 3D Land. There's not much to say about that. The levels are all kind of the same. But there's one new game I've been playing, and it's an adult game called I forgot. Kamihimi Project R.
Whoa. Kind of scared.
Now the thing is, what drawn to me is, like, I was browsing 4chan. Don't browse 4chan, guys. And I was like, oh man, this game looks sick. It looks pretty cool. It's like a role-playing tactics kind of game. Not tactics, but 2D anime game. Okay. And what drawn to me is the graphics. And those still gameplay where the pictures are not moving, but they would like pretend like they're attacking and stuff. So I'm playing that kind of game, and I'm not really interested in the sex scenes, which normally that's what draws people. It's actually just learning about the story and the story art. I liked how like the anime feel is. It's like, it reminds me of Ragnarok kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I miss Ragnarok, by the way. I'm gonna go a little bit off a tangent, but Ragnarok was like like a good anime RPG kind of thing. Everybody was very helpful, and I don't know. I just had a lot of good memories. The story was vast, and the maps were huge, but that Kamihimi project was actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. if you have time to kill, and I know you guys are all gonna go search this up, check out Kami Himi Project R. Yeah. So.
Wait, so you mentioned Ragnarok. Have you checked out Tree of Savior?
Yeah. I've been playing that game for quite a bit when it released.
Yeah.
And I was first. My character was a shield guy. I didn't even know there's like a shield class, but basically he's a tank, and you can block literally everything just holding a block button. But that game kind of felt like a Ragnarok kind of feel. That was supposed to be the the successor of that game.
Yeah.
But it turns out like there were so many lags. The story was kind of the same thing. You just go here, go there to kill different areas. But Ragnarok, dude, literally, I got lost. You have no NPCs to really tell you where to go.
Mm-hmm.
It just says, I need this kind of item. Go find me this item, or something's going on in the church, and that's it. You're like, okay, well, what church are you talking about? There's like a billion churches, and then so you go and investigate all these different areas, which forces you to explore basically.
Mm-hmm.
And each NPC, like, they don't have like the indicator that they have a quest or anything like that. You have to just talk to them and like, oh yeah, my daughter went missing kind of thing. So that's what made it really cool and really vast. The NPCs gave it a lot of life, and people love Ragnarok for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So Tree of the Savior tried to do the same thing.
Doesn't capture that though.
Nah, it's like it's kind of linear. You already know where you're going. You already anticipate all of the bosses, and they all kind of have the same mechanics. But what really killed it was it was very laggy. The servers, I don't know if it's laggy now, but the servers were pretty rough. Like you hit and it would like there'd be like a second or two delay. Like I know Ragnarok had that, but it was pretty rough for the lag. And then 2, I forgot what 2 was. But basically, yeah. Oh, the bots. So there was a shit ton of bots in that
Ragnarok?
game. No, not Ragnarok. Well, I don't. Maybe Ragnarok, but noticeable in Tree of the Savior.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that they all went on a linear path. And what I did was I like to troll a lot of people who were playing bots. So what I did was I made a mage, and he was an ice mage. He can cast a giant wall and trap people, whether it's player or NPCs. And I would just like build a wall in their path that they're going for, and then the bots would get stuck and just stand there for like, I don't know, like a minute or two, and I would just keep doing that over and over and over just to fuck with their bots, because you can see that they're gonna go this way to go kill some monsters to pick up loot. And they I remember trapped like 6 or 7 bots in one spot just with my wall. Just fucking up their day.
That's funny. So that one didn't stick, huh? That wasn't a good successor to Ragnarok, I guess, huh?
Oh yeah, like for a while it was getting to that point where it kind of was, but like a lot of people dropped off around the same time, just like Blade and Soul. You think it's gonna be super hyped, and you guys play for a while, but then once you start seeing like the emptiness, everyone starts dropping off. And I remember they even took it off the Steam store for quite a bit. I don't know whether it was because of the bugs or whatnot, but they took it off Steam for a while. Maybe it might be back on Steam.
Mm-hmm. The art style didn't hold you? Was it different or the same as Ragnarok?
The art style is what lured us into the game. It's just the gameplay and the mechanics is what deterred us from playing. Like everybody stopped playing too, so that's what was another factor.
And there's no sex scenes in it, so even more reason to give up on the game, right?
Yeah, that didn't draw me in, so I had to stop.
Oh, that's funny, man. But yeah, I think most of the games that you mentioned, I've been on too. Neo, of course, still playing that from last week on that Ghost of Tsushima hype. Platinumed the vanilla game, so that was fun. I know Rick and I went through and beat all the levels.
Yeah.
And they were a little bit harder. I mean, I think that mission we were talking about on my own, if I played it, I go through a gauntlet of samurai, and then I fight Nobunaga and his wife at the same time. But since Rick was with me, we had to fight Nobunaga, his wife, and Yasuke, which is the black samurai. He has this big ass axe, dude, and kills you in 2 hits.
Oh
My god, dude. We did fight a couple other bosses. We fought Date Masamune. We fucking whooped the shit out of him, dude.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we fought this lady Maria, who's, I guess she's comparable to Maria in Bloodborne, who we whooped the shit out of, by the way. She's comparable to the Maria in Bloodborne. She has a rapier kind of sword and just flies everywhere and attacks you and stuff. There's a difficulty rating on each level before you choose it in Neo, and on this one it was like 4 out of 5. And Rick and I went in there and just one-shot her. It was fucking amazing, dude. But for sure, Neo was way more fun with a friend, even if they do make it a little bit harder. I know we were jumping a bunch of revenants too, which are players that have died in each of the levels. But you can summon them and fight their ghosts and steal their armor and stuff like that.
Armor,
yeah. I know we were whooping the shit out of them because I was learning how to use the chain and kunai, man, tripping people.
Kurosagama or
something. Yeah. Just finding out the amazing combos of how you can just trip people, pull them to you, backstab them. Oh, amazing combos. Because there was this one trophy where you have to beat the master of that weapon in the dojo. So, and these fights are usually hard because they use all of the arts that you can unlock for each weapon. So I think the hardest one for me might have been the axe, because there's not really a good parry on that, and I love to parry in Neo. But when I fought the chain and kunai guy, I just tripped him, stabbed him, did the little scorpion, come over here, kicked his ass, and beat him so easy, dude. It was like the easiest fight, man. I was laughing so hard. But yeah, I've been playing Neo. Then Bloodborne as well with Rick. Just going through the DLC. We beat Lawrence in one shot in Rick's game. The Living Failures gave us a little bit of trouble. Maria was easy peasy. And then Orphan of Cause. That boss is just a pain in the ass.
Oh, super pain.
But we got through it at the cost of my life. I gave my life so Rick can beat Orphan of Cause.
I know, it was just like a smidge hit left after you died. And I was like just running around like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And I literally almost died.
Yeah, man, that guy's ridiculous. We're currently on, the last boss that Rick ever needs to beat in Bloodborne is Lawrence. And that guy's just whooping our ass, dude. I think it's because the arena's smaller. His hitbox is super weird. Yeah, it's just a combination of a bunch of things. And he's on fire. The craziest part to me is about that fight, right, is his second form. He doesn't have legs. It's just his torso crawling around the room and shit. So you'd think it'd be easier, you know? This guy's not jumping around the room anymore. But no, he spits lava everywhere and tries to trap you in the lava. Whenever he moves, there's a trail of lava behind him, so you can't hit him in the back. It's actually harder, dude, even though he has no legs. It's fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, that's how I died last time.
But we'll get over it, dude. We'll beat him like we beat every other boss in the game, hopefully soon. And Rick's right, the tears. It started to remind me of the tears.
Yeah, it's so real.
I think the boss I spent the longest time on, we haven't even fought. He's in the Chalice dungeons. I think I fought a boss for 3-4 hours or something like that one time.
Holy crap!
And that was the longest.
What boss is that?
Guard Dog of the Abyss or something like that. It's in the Chalice dungeons, and what happens is, in this specific Chalice dungeon, you have half of your health. And I think there's poison, so your health is always going down. But anyways, he has a charge attack like Ludwig does, and it kills you in one hit every time. Oh, and he's on fire too. So bada bing, bada boom. Just
what is with them on fire? I thought fire is supposed to kill these guys.
Yeah. That just makes them that much more badass, dude. Is that They're fucking on fire and they're undead. Ugh. Ugh. Um, Also been playing Destiny 2 on PC. I'm starting to appreciate it a lot. I think my aim is getting a little bit better every day, dude. I was playing Overwatch yesterday just for a quick couple of games. I wanted to test my aim out again, and I was getting decent, man. I played as McCree and Reaper. I was just tearing up everybody, but McCree, I was actually killing the Flying Pharah and the Mercy. So I think we're getting there, dude. I think the aim is coming back, bro, from the Counter-Strike 1.6 days, man.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that we were also playing Left 4 Dead.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. We had you, me, Dustin, and Russ on there for one of the levels, and that was just good times, dude. And old habits die hard. I was still leaving people behind, man.
Yeah, dude, I remember. So there's this one map, and we have to wait till the bridge lowers down, and me and Dustin were like shooting a bunch of zombies, coming our way, and I forgot like to just turn around and look to see if the bridge is down. So we're just shooting away, and then we're like, oh wait, yeah, the bridge should be down by now. So we turn around, and Brett's already halfway. No mention. He's just like, okay, I'm gone, guys.
No, see, when the bridge lowered, I was expecting there to be zombies on the bridge when it lowered. So that's why I was like running to activate all of them. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to ditch you guys. I would have said something when I was at the car. I'd be like, guys, I'm at the car.
Hey guys, I'm inside the car. Come on, let's go. I think that last scene where we played with me, with Russ too, where the gate opens at the end. I think, didn't you die like near the gate?
Dude, no, it was crazy. So at the very end, I think 2 or 3 tanks came at the same time, dude.
Yeah.
And I was on the second floor on this balcony with a Gatling gun, and a tank knocked me off. So I fall to the floor, and I'm just running, trying to juke out the other tank that's on the ground floor. I think you guys kill the tank, but you get taken by a licker or something, or by a smoker. Russ and Dustin are down in the courtyard, and I'm just running around trying to avoid the last tank that's still alive. And I run inside, dude, and I'm just walking backwards with my auto shotty, just unloading on this tank, man. And I'm in red health, you know what I mean? Just unloading, and he dies. I'm like, yes, I can get somebody. I turn around and get Russ, right? And Russ starts to go and get you, and you die while Russ is walking towards you. Then while Russ is coming back, I think a hunter or something jumps on him and kills him. So I'm over here trying to pick up Dustin, and as I'm picking up Dustin, the boat comes, and I'm like, oh, let's go, dude. So we start running, and I get taken down, I think just by damage because my health was so low. Dustin starts walking back to pick me up, and I'm like, it's not worth it, dude. Just go. Just go. And he's running towards the door, right? And I'm trying to cover him, and he stops. I go, Dustin, what are you doing, dude? Just walk through the door. He's just sitting there shooting, and he goes, okay, and he just leaves. I'm like, yes, we did. And then the credits you see in memory of Boo Up, A New Perfect Day, and Russ, man. I was like, oh, we sacrificed it for Dustin, man.
Yeah. I remember too. I was just watching Dustin. He was just standing still, just shooting the zombies. I was like, oh no, when he run, the gate's open. The gate's open.
That's such good times, dude. That, and then when we were in the stadium for the rock concert, where the helicopter was going to pick us up, and we were all camped up on this kind of scaffolding that was above the ground, so anything that had to come to us had to climb up a ladder, so it was easy for us to fend people off and all that. Of course, the helicopter lands on the opposite side of the stadium. Yeah. So we have to clear away and just run through, and of course 2 tanks are going to spawn along with a smoker, a jockey, and a charger all at the same fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
So we're running across. I think Rick gets taken down by a tank. It's just me and Dustin. Dustin's ahead of me. He gets taken down by something. I pick him up. We're running towards the helicopter, dude. Rick's dead. Ellis is dead. And we jump in the helicopter. I think Dustin gets held up by 1 or 2 zombies, and I'm covering him, dude. You know what I mean? And he's not moving. He takes out an axe and starts swinging an axe around. I go, dude, get in the helicopter. I'm sitting here in the helicopter. I run out of bullets. I have my 2 pistols just shooting. He gets knocked down, and then the screen goes black. And it's the helicopter flying away. He refused to. He was like within 5 feet of the helicopter, but he was just swinging away with his fucking axe, man. This fucking guy.
That goes to show that we would not make it in real life.
Yeah, dude. We just all go and do our own thing, dude. Like, all right, guys, don't separate. If one of us goes off on our own, we're gonna get taken by a hunter or something. We all go on our own. It takes us like a minute to find each other and shit. Oh man, but good times, dude. That game is super fun, even after all these years. I think it's that I bought the game in 2012. We're still playing it, man. So
yeah,
good times for sure. Lastly, last game I was playing this week was Call of Duty World War II. I played mainly through the campaign, and it was decent. A little unrealistic at points with the adventure they go through. But it was good. I appreciated the story for what it was. It was a little short, but I guess all the Call of Duty campaign modes are pretty short. It was super fun, super cinematic. There are some espionage missions in it where it reminded me of Medal of Honor, where you're spying on the Germans, and instead of a gun, you have your papers. So if you run into an enemy, they ask you for your papers. You press the button and you show them your ID. So there was some things that reminded me of that. In fact, I'm a huge fan of the game Papers, Please. You actually had to memorize your papers, and then when someone asked you, "Oh, where were you born?" it gives you a choice of what city to pick and where you were born. So it was super funny, man. Yeah, it was pretty good. They made it a little bit too easy. I mean, of course, I guess people playing Call of Duty aren't really playing it for espionage. They just want to shoot shit. So, but the change in pace was really fun for me, you know, as someone who appreciates that type of gameplay, for sure. Only played 1 round of multiplayer with a couple people, and well, of course, you know, you're level 1 in multiplayer. They don't give you anything. It's all just pre-made classes. I don't even think you have kill streaks at that point. So I just had the shittiest guns. Once I picked up someone else's guns, I was tearing it up a little bit. But the big thing for me is it felt super, super clunky after playing so much Destiny.
Oh, really?
I guess.
Like Killzone clunky?
I wasn't. Yeah, like Killzone clunky, but I know it's not as bad. I know Killzone's pretty bad, but just compared to Destiny, I think anything's going to be clunky, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like jumping over ledges and it took me 5 minutes. I would you know, sprint, and I would stop sprinting after 2 minutes or after 2 seconds because my guy got tired already. And then aiming down the sights took forever. And you can't really, it's the only thing, yeah. You just drop shot, which is a staple in multiplayer, but you can't really do anything else like double jump or blink away and turn on a guy, you know? So it's interesting, but it was fun. I think I went 12 and 16. So the only thing that's going to pull me back to play multiplayer is to have that 1 KD, man. So I got to get 4 kills and just leave a game. Oh, man. So those were all the console games we were playing this week. But we want to talk about some mobile games, man. Ever since phones have come out in general, there's been games on it, right? I mean, everybody had that old brick Nokia phone and played Snake on that shit, right?
Yeah.
So mobile games have been out for a while, at least on the phone, and that's what we'll be concentrating on today. With the iPhones and all the smartphones, it just got that much crazier. You know, you can go into the App Store, into the, what is it called, the Android store, and download whatever you want, and the graphics have only gotten better. I mean, there's games we were playing on PlayStation 2 that are currently available on your phone. You know, for example, I have Grand Theft Auto 3 on my phone. Well, I mean,
wow.
I could, but I don't have the space because I have all these other apps and pictures in my phone that I don't have enough space to have it. But if I wanted to, I could download Grand Theft Auto 2. Grand Theft Auto 3, a game that took a whole console to play, I can just play it on my phone right now. So it's advanced into something pretty crazy. So we'll start with you, man. What games do you have currently installed on your phone?
Although I haven't been playing this game, or most of the games
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think it's because the reason why I'm starting to deter away from games that get too heavily involved. But anyway, yeah. So, but I still have Pokemon Go on it.
Oh wow. Okay.
I remember, dude, like all of the good times that the world went crazy for that one summer looking for all of the Pokemon. You just see all these people from all different ages walking around down the street, actually coming out in the sun, getting sunburned because they'd never seen the sun for the life of them. And especially like my nephews, dude, like they always stay inside and just play games, but they were actually, there's a couple of times where we just drove through downtown, walking around through Balboa Park and walking around with friends too, which made it really awesome. It's like instead of, hey, let's go get something to eat, it's like, hey, let's go try to get some Pikachus
Mm-hmm.
in Coronado Island and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But I still have Pokemon Go on my phone. The other games that I still have, I've beaten already, but it's the Phoenix Wright games that I
Uh-huh.
mentioned. And um I just love having played the Phoenix Wright. It's just, I don't know, it always gets me inspired, touches my feels whenever I play that game. So if you haven't played that game, recommend playing that game. Also, I still have Flappy Bird for the time when it went crazy. I don't know.
Wait, it's still on your
Everybody,
phone?
yeah, still on
Oh,
my
you can
phone.
sell that for money, dude.
I think they still have, they brought it back to
Oh,
the
really?
thing.
You can download it again?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I remember that time when it just randomly got so popular. And till this day I still don't see where, the addiction is. Like I'm like, "Oh yeah, I played it a couple times. I'm not really addicted." But I don't know, it's taken over like all of America at that time, and like they had to take it off the store. And I remember the guy was like getting crazy. He went crazy or something like that. He was getting so much money, but he was feeling bad, and people were like fighting over just to get that game off of a phone, somebody's phone. So I remember someone paid up to, I think, almost $100,000 to get a
For a phone with
phone
Flappy Bird?
with Flappy Bird,
Oh my
yeah, and it was
god,
on
dude.
eBay, and it was like all of the news, and people were selling it on average. Though was like $10,000, and I was like, "Holy fuck! I'll sell my phone for that much."
Hell yeah, dude. And then the thing too is that person's gonna have all your contacts because you can't delete all your stuff, right? 'Cause
That's
you have to
fine
have the
with me.
game
You
on
can
there.
spam all my contacts for $1,000. I don't have a phone.
He's not gonna spam you anymore.
Yeah, I won't
Oh
get it.
shit.
I'll be $10,000 happy with a flip phone.
That's funny.
But yeah, I still have that. I still have Go Ninja. It's not really a game you beat, but it's like a game where you have to defeat enemies. It's a side-scrolling running game kind of thing. Just seeing how long you can last, and you're a ninja, and you only can go. You automatically slice enemies, but there's enemies you can't slice, so you end up you have to dodge them, and that's what
Oh, I think
originally
I've played
kills
that.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I still have that one. And if you want another game that's just completely random and you have to, I don't know, have quick reaction and all that, try out a game called Tap the Frog. It's very whimsical. Basically, there's different levels of you being a frog, and you have to like press the button really fast, or catch all the flies, or catch all the red flies and not the blue flies, and it's just so many random things. It's similar to like WarioWare if you
Uh-huh.
guys play that, yeah. Also, I have a tower defense kind of game. It's called D Witchers. If you like anime and you like tower defense, that game is really, really addicting. And basically, you just have to stop the herd from reaching the end goal by setting up all these anime characters along the way.
With magical powers and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with magical powers. They all have different magic attacks and all that. Like one slows, one frees, one fires, and all that. Another game is a little kind of cartoony. It's called Post Night. And basically, you're a knight and you're just trying to deliver mail. And all you have to do is let your character run to the end of the map by himself. And if you're strong enough, he can reach to the end and deliver the mail. If he's not strong enough, then you're just going to have to keep leveling him up by doing all other sorts of missions. So it's really pretty fun. It also has iPhone stickers if you're into if you're still into that. Yeah, and the other games that I haven't beaten number 2, but number 1 I played for the longest time was Infinity Blade. So Infinity Blade is kind of like an endless cycle of you defeating the boss or not, you dying, and you restart, but you restart back stronger, and the monsters are random. So you keep going through the entire story or the game, but there's kind of different paths to take.
Yeah.
But essentially, your end goal is to go defeat the God King, and you're like this warrior or whatnot. I don't want to spoil the thing, but you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just this warrior going to defeat the God King, and something happens at the end, and then you start playing the game again. You start back at square one, but you're stronger. But the thing is, there's a reason why you keep respawning back to as stronger. And if you manage to defeat the God King and you manage to get like his sword, you can go to a secret area and it explains the conspiracies going on. So it gets pretty deep in story wise if you able to stick around and beat that game. Number 2, it starts showing it a bit more, starts unraveling the truths behind why your body is like that and all that. And it goes to show that it goes beyond conspiracies, and it goes to that I don't know, I can't really spoil it, but yeah, it's good. The game is good. And another game I used to play a little bit, it was called Warcher. Archer.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can be, I think, many different classes, but basically you only can be 3 if you haven't either beaten the game or you haven't paid real money into it. But you're this archer, and you're fending off hordes of monsters that are coming to destroy the tower. And there's like 3 different levels that you can post up on and shoot your arrows at. And depending on what level you're at, the arrow arcs, so you just have to calculate which floor to be on in order to fire your arrow. In order to hit that monster. The closer they are, you're gonna probably switch different floors. And lastly, I have a game called Crossy Road. And have you heard of that game?
Crossy Road, nah, man.
Yeah, it kind of took off, but kind of didn't. But it's basically you're a chicken and you're crossing the road. So you're like if you play those leapfrog games where you're the frog and you have to get to the other side, but you're a chicken and you have to cross the road with all the cars moving at different speeds. But yeah, essentially those are the games I have. I haven't really been playing a lot of mobile games, but those games I mentioned, they have the addiction value, and it's easily to get into most of them and easily to jump right back out of them. So definitely recommend those games.
Yeah, I only have one game on my phone right now, and that's and it's Two Dots, dude. The game I recommended before. And that game's super fun, man. It's a good time killer. You don't have to get too involved. I mean, you have 5 lives and they respawn every 20 minutes, so you can't just binge yourself on the game. So it's a good time waster for an hour or so, or for what it is. I've had a bunch of games on my phone. In fact, before we started talking, I went into my iTunes and saw all the apps that I had downloaded. And there was a lot, man. But I think I got to a point where, you don't want to be on your phone all the time. You don't always want to be looking down at your phone. For example, if you're out to eat dinner with somebody or you're hanging out with friends, you don't want to be on your phone, just playing games the whole time. So I think once I crossed that point, I deleted a bunch of these because I had some games on my phone that were pretty um, immersive. Like you really had to get into them. I think the biggest one I played was this game called Baseball Superstar, where it's you take on one character and it's just your career in baseball, man. I played all of them, 1 through 3. 3 got kind of horrible because there was pay to win aspects of it where you could buy special bats and buy special perks and all that with real money. But 1 and 2 were awesome because you go through an entire season as a player. You could level up your stats, go to practice, everything like that. And then you could buy new equipment. You could become the MVP of the league. You could get traded to other teams if you're doing bad or you're doing well. It was a super deep game, and it had that anime art style as well, which helped out a lot too. And then there were special characters. For example, if your character was a position player, so whenever you were up to bat, there were these boss pitchers. I think there was one that looked like Morgan, and whenever she pitched the ball, it would go up, down, sideways, and make a cross, and then go into the catcher's mitt. So you had to figure out when was the right time to hit it. There was one that was like a cat person, of course, because it's an anime game. And whenever they pitched the ball, it had this crazy huge curve and all that. That was a fun game. I don't know if it's still out. The fact that I was just looking at it in my iTunes store and remembering all this, I kind of want to download it again. So I might do that. Past games I've had too, just like Rick, Flappy Bird. I had Galaga at one point on my phone. The time wasters I played were paper toss, where you literally just shoot a piece of paper into a trash can on your phone. I think the only thing they have is they have a fan at certain points, so you have to learn how to curve the piece of paper into the trash can. Played this game called Candy Train, which was like Candy Crush, except you had to change the way the tracks went to lead the train in the right direction. Like Rick, I played Infinity Blade and Phoenix Wright. I played Temple Run for as long as that was popular. And my cousin actually bought me this game called Zombieville, where it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but on your phone, and it's a 2D side scroller. They have different classes of zombies that you don't want to get stuck one-on-one with. You could pick up gun upgrades and everything like that. So that game was fun. And you could play local co-op over Bluetooth, I think it was. It wasn't even over Wi-Fi. So that was fun. The biggest one, now that I'm looking at a lot of these games, each of them goes through, or at least for me, I go through a phase where I'm super addicted to a mobile game for maybe a month, and I'm just playing it hardcore, and then I stop playing. I just completely drop off the map. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I have a slightly addictive personality, dude, because it's the same thing with Destiny as well. You know, when it first came out, I just played it all day. Same thing with Destiny 2. But it slowly falls off. And I think it's because nobody else is playing, you know? Because the next one I'm going to bring up, the huge one, Words with Friends. I mean, everybody was playing that, right?
Yeah.
They had studies and articles come out about how people were getting married off of meeting off Words with Friends and all this stuff. So that game was huge. And then you found out that everybody was cheating. So it just killed it for me. They would go on like Google and figure out what words they can make out of all their letters and shit like that. And then there were those bullshit words like QI. You remember that?
Yeah, like we.
Nobody knew what the word QI was until that game came out. You just find out the bullshit words you can make with Q, Z, and Y. Oh my god. But yeah, that was a big game for a while that everybody was playing. And I think a big thing with me is once the attention isn't there for everybody, I guess the experiences just get stale. So things weren't getting updated as much as they were. With that Baseball Superstar game, 3 versions of it, well, that I played came out. So I was playing that for a long time. Another one I'll mention lastly is this game called Guardian Cross. It's a card game. It's a Final Fantasy card game. So I downloaded it thinking it was going to be like the card game in Final Fantasy VIII, right?
Mm-hmm.
where you just get cards and there's that 3x3 square that you can take over other cards depending on what side the number's on. But no, it was way more involved. I don't know if anybody's ever played the WWE card game, but it's similar to that, where you get cards, you level them up, and it's like war. You play war with another player. Whoever's cards are better, win that round, essentially. But the thing with it is, the cards were rated 1 to 5 stars, and I could never get a 5-star card. I think if you did these daily quests, you got a 5-star card, or if you beat certain people, you get a 5-star card. But I only had one out of the hours and hours that I played this game. And then I would play other people, and their whole deck would be filled with 5-star cards. I'm like, what the fuck? How are they doing this, dude? Are they grinding on this game that much? And then I noticed on the top right of my screen, there was this little shopping cart. I go, what's this? And I click that. And of course, you could pay real money to get these cards, dude.
Ah, pay to win.
So once I saw that, I immediately stopped playing the game, man. I think I wiped it from my memory too, because I don't even remember playing it until I saw it in my iTunes store. Then all the memories started coming back of me trying to break down all these cards I didn't need so I could make a new card that I hoped was a 5-star card, but it never happened, dude. RNG was not kind to me in that game. Which brings us to our next topic, man. Have you ever spent money on a mobile game, whether it's through a microtransaction or buying the game itself?
I think the only one I've ever spent money was I forget. Oh, Pokemon Go.
Oh,
so that was the time when like it didn't really affect your gameplay or better your chances of catching Pokemon. It was just actually just to expand the inventory of your backpack, of how many items you can carry, because when you go through downtown and all that, you hit up all these stops and you're always filled with one round of stops. You can fill up your backpack pretty easily, and you need these items to help catch the Pokemon. Like you need more Pokeballs, you need more Great Balls and all that. But that was the only time I ever spent real money. Other than the times when I see games where you have to mostly pay to play to win, I usually avoid it, or like you, I just stop playing altogether. But like, for example, Infinity Blade, it was almost like that, but you can't really win. All it does is just give you more gold.
So you can buy stronger swords.
Yeah, buy stronger swords, but it didn't really feel like you have to pay to win to beat all of these things. You can still beat, the last boss with the level 1 sword. You just have to be really good at dodging and all that. So yeah, that was the only time, is just spending it on Pokemon Go. And speaking of Pokemon Go, if you guys watch like Rick and Morty, there's a game I just downloaded yesterday, and it's called Pocket Mortys.
Pocket Mortys?
Pocket Mortys.
Oh, Pocket Mortys. Okay.
So it's like Pokemon. You're basically Rick, the old scientist, and you're always partnered with Morty. In the show, there's multi-universes in the show, so there's different types of Mortys and different types of Ricks of the main characters. But in this game, you're going around to different universes to capture different Mortys and have them battle each other. What? And then there's one that like just cries. There's one that just like,
how many different kinds are there?
Screams and gets mad, and I don't know, but it looks like there's a lot. There's one that's like a scruffed up Morty, and he's like, a wild Morty has appeared, and he's like, Rick, help me! It's so fucking funny, dude. But yeah. Just off a tangent, just check that out. That game is actually pretty fun. I just started, so I already caught a different Morty.
Damn, what if there's 150? Just the Pokemon troll, dude.
Shoot, there probably is, and there's online too, so you can battle
other people. Oh wow,
yeah,
dude. Wow. Is there anything you could spend money on in that game?
I haven't seen where there's a store, but I might have to look a little bit deeper and then see if there is.
Yeah, I think for me, I haven't spent any money on any mobile games. That Zombieville game my cousin bought for me. I think it was $2, just so that we could play together on there. But personally, I haven't spent any money at all, and I think it's because I don't look at mobile games as something that you spend money on, right?
Yeah.
I look at it like Solitaire or like Snake or Minesweeper, just stuff that comes free with your phone or with your computer, that you could just play. So I really never understood the point of spending money on a mobile game, because I'm not going to get as invested into it as I would a PlayStation game.
I thought I was going to be invested in Pokemon Go. Like it's free. The whole world is playing. So I was like, I might as well just spend a couple bucks to expand my inventory. But then turns out like everyone stopped playing a month later. 2 months later. I'm like, oh, damn it.
Dude, can we talk about that for a second? Pokemon Go really took over the world, man.
It did, man. Everybody,
so
every country, and oh my god, they're just chasing all different types of Pokemon.
Every walk of life, everybody old, young was playing that game. Dude.
Yeah, that's what was crazy. Met so many old people, met so many young people, met so many people that, I always thought, oh yeah, he's too cool to be playing this game. But it turns out like he's actually chasing a Pikachu down the street or a Bulbasaur,
Yeah.
Just, wow. Oh, so many.
That was so wild, man. I just remember, all the people we met. I remember the first day we played Pokemon Go. We met that guy at Balboa Park that was just telling us about where he caught all these Ponyta and Vulpix and all this stuff like that, and he was telling us to check out
La Jolla.
La Jolla Shores, which we eventually did and caught a bunch of stuff. We caught a Lapras there. Yeah, dude. Crazy. I just remember like you said, just seeing the different people that were playing and being just amazed at how diverse the community was, and especially in the early days where there was no malice behind it. People were just playing to play and getting to know each other. I remember overhearing conversations between people who I would never think would talk to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's just that friendly about it. I mean, I think it did get a little toxic over time, as does everything. Trolls started coming out and messing with the Pokemon Go community and all that, and people within were, I think once the factions came up too, that kind of fucked people up, because then it pitted people against each other too,
created gangs in real life.
But where else, what else is such a phenomenon where they have to change laws, change ways of life just to fit around this game? We used to be able to go to J Street Marina, and fucking be there from midnight to 5 a.m, no problem. Now you go there, there's signs everywhere that you can't even park your car there past 10:30. You know what I mean? And cops patrol that place now all night. So it's so crazy. Nothing else would have triggered that other than Pokemon Go. How crazy is that, dude?
Yeah, it's super crazy, and I miss that feeling. Just like it forces everybody to go outside and go capture Pokemon. I was just seeing all types of people. Like I've talked to a couple shy people. They're like, yeah, I get nervous when I'm in a group of people, but I think I'm having a blast. And I'm like, oh, power to you for getting over your fears to come out and mingle with other people, kind of thing. So it's just like you're saying, it was that phenomenal for it to change laws and for it to I don't know, it's just, I miss that though.
Yeah. And I mean, not even just here, but those videos you saw of people in Japan and in China, there's a lot of people in a compact space in the main cities, and they were blocking streets and ruining fucking sidewalks and shit like that, man. Oh, so crazy.
It just goes to show how many gamers and how many people were into Pokemon back in the day.
Yeah, that is for sure, man. That's crazy. You think anything like that'll ever happen again?
Nah. I think it was because Pokemon was really that crazy.
It's universal.
In our childhood. Yeah, it was so universal, that crazy. And everybody was kind of the one playing it. So, but now it's like, I don't think there was anything that was that much of an impact to us during our childhood.
Because I want to say they're working on another game.
Harry Potter Go.
Ah, there you go. That's what. Do you think that one will be as popping as Pokemon Go?
I don't know. Maybe it might. I don't know.
Because Harry Potter has it. I think you can equate that to Pokemon on popularity and how nostalgic it is.
Yeah, if everybody starts shooting magic in the streets, then I might have to join that shit.
But see, for me, yeah, I don't know. See, for me, I was never really into Harry Potter like that, so I don't think I'll grasp on. I think I'll enjoy watching everybody, but I won't be able to grasp on like everybody else does.
Exactly, same here.
Because those were amazing times, dude. Just driving around for 3 hours around Coronado, dude, picking up Pokemon and shit, dude.
And it would be like backed up. The streets are all backed up because people are like in their cars trying to capture Pokemon.
Dude, they specifically put security cameras in the middle of the road to watch people at where those 4 Pokestops were at. Yeah. They specifically put security cameras there, man.
Yep, and I remember like the news people were interviewing everybody down there in Coronado in that little intersection. It was so fucking crazy.
And then I remember you would hear about it too. You know, one day we'd go out to Coronado and people would be like, "Oh yeah, man, everybody caught a Lapras over here in this alleyway the other night," you know. And then you see it on Facebook. Oh, the Lapras appeared there again, in that alleyway. 2 days later, you would see on the news residents complaining about noise. And you're like, oh shit, dude, this is affecting real shit. Oh my god, it's so crazy. So who knows? Maybe Harry Potter. You just said shooting magic in the street. It reminds me of this video I saw of these kids shooting firecrackers at each other or Roman candles at each other.
Oh yeah.
It looks like they're shooting magic.
And they put Harry Potter music to it.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't think they'll be getting any crazier in the future, just besides what Pokemon Go is? I think Harry Potter will be a good successor. I don't think it'll tie me in as much as Pokemon Go did. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know there was a lot of Harry Potter fans, but who knows? Maybe there was just as much as the ones for Pokemon. Now, Pokemon really impacted a lot of people.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. The future will tell. I think one thing that might push mobile gaming is VR. If they make those headsets, like the one for the Samsung, where you just put your phone in it and then you could strap it on your head. I think if they make those more accessible and start building games or experiences around it, I think that's what's going to take off in mobile gaming. Then people won't even you won't even have to have Google Glass anymore. You know, those glasses with the interface and everything on it.
Yeah.
You just put on that headset and have your phone on there, and that might not be a weird thing in the near future. Everybody's just wearing headsets everywhere. I don't know how it's going to affect your peripherals, but
yeah.
You know, and then you could have all those augmented reality things where if you're wearing your phone on your face, you could look at a restaurant and Yelp will automatically tell you, you know, how many stars it has or what's good, what the specials are and shit like that, you know. So I think that's the one thing that'll improve mobile gaming. It'll be funny. You're wearing that headset, you turn and look at someone and they're on the enemy team of whatever game you're playing.
Oh, that would be
so
sick.
You do a certain hand movement and it shoots energy balls at them, and it's up to them. They really have to move their body to dodge it, you know?
They're all just sitting down at a cafe, kind of like bobbing back and forth.
You just have to be on your toes all day, every day. You can't eat. Your fucking waiter is on the other team. You're just shooting your waiter. You can't shoot you back because he's on the job. That would be funny. But that's how I envision the future of mobile gaming to be, is more augmented reality type stuff and VR. But time will tell, man. Who knows? We've also been able to predict the future on the show a couple times, so. But yeah, so now we're at the point where we recommend some video games for you guys. What are your recommendations for this week, Rick?
This game came out originally on PS2 and it been remastered for the PS4. It's called Odin's Spear. Have you ever played that game?
Is that an RPG?
Shoot, I don't even know what that kind of game. It's like a side-scrolling hack and slash kind of thing. And what you are like five different characters. I kind of forgot. I should have looked this up, but you're
Wait,
like,
have you played this game?
Yeah, I'm just going off of my memory. This is off of the PS2. I played the PS2 version.
Okay.
I know the PS4 version took off. So, but basically, you're like 5 characters, and their stories. There are different stories for each character, but somehow their stories intertwine with each other. So like it affects the other person's story. But basically you're in like a medieval kind of area, but anime art style. And if you played like something like Dragon's Crown or Muramasa on the PS Vita or the PS3, that's where Odin Sphere was like the main predecessor for those kind of games, you know. But the game story is really good. I think the main two is the girl and the Dark Knight, and their story intertwines pretty deep. You know, they have a romance kind of thing going on, but they have to like save the world, and I think their choices are kind of different from each other, so it ends up kind of like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. But yeah, definitely recommend checking that game out. I know that PS4 version was pretty successful, so it's remastered, but I think it's only single player. So if you're looking for a good story, a good solid story, look at Odin Sphere.
Okay. Odin Sphere, and there's a PS2 game that's now on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that, man. Because I'm with you, that I think I'm becoming a weeb for real. The anime art style is kind of carrying some games for me, man. I was looking at Catherine. Majika. I was like looking at Catherine recently because you were talking about it. And man, the graphics in that are so good. It almost makes me want to buy like Persona 5 too, you know.
I am going to buy Persona 5. Yep, we should buy it.
And that other game too, that Grand Theft Auto game where you're like, the Japanese one where you're a high school student, the one we were talking about, we had to import over here.
Oh, yeah.
Just because that game is in that art style, it makes me want to buy it. What was that one game? This is gonna end up being my recommendation. What's it fucking called? It's in that style too. Is it Yandere Simulator? Yandere Simulator? What the fuck?
Tsundere Simulator or Yandere? Yeah, I think it's Yandere.
Okay, we need to confirm this before I recommend it, man.
Yandere. Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's Yandere Simulator. Yandere. And basically, you're this chick that has a crush. You're this Japanese high school chick that has a crush on one of the guys in your school. And instead of trying to compete with other girls in your class for his attention, you just murder them. This game is super fun. You just have it's like Hitman, but you're a Japanese schoolgirl. So I definitely recommend, because you got to kill them in creative ways out of sight from other students. You got to hide their bodies and things like that. And just figuring out how to do all this is crazy in itself. It's free. The game is completely free. I think the guy that's making it is just putting out builds every now and then. I think every month, whenever he makes some big updates. It's on PC. Definitely check it out. There's a mode. He has different modes, like different debug modes that you could choose from. And there's one that's a Titan mode, where everybody in the game, except for you, turns into a Titan. And they start playing the Attack on Titan theme music in the background. Yeah. And it's so intense. But these guys are just walking around the school all giant and shit. You're just running around. You can get onto the roof of the school and just see everybody. It's crazy. It's a fun game. The guys come under a lot of fire just because it portrays high school students in a sexual way, because you could look up their skirts and things like that. And then I think it's teenagers killing other teenagers. So this game is like banned on Twitch and on YouTube, I think. But definitely check it out for yourself. It's pretty fun. It's a good maybe hour of time to kill. But like Rick's been saying, the art style, just like many games, it carries it for me for sure. I'm actually going to check out the latest build now that we're talking about it. So Yandere Simulator, Yandere Simulator. just Google it. You can find his homepage and download the most recent build. Yeah. So that is it for us today. Next week, want to talk about remakes and remasters. I don't think we've tackled that yet here on our show. Definitely something to talk about. I myself have become a crazy victim to all remakes and remasters. I've bought every single version that's come out. I think the reason it's putting us up to this attention, or it's bringing it to my attention, is because of the most recent Shadow of Colossus remaster that's going to come out. That's a game I played super heavy on the PlayStation 2, and something I'll probably play super heavy on the PS4 as well. It just looks amazing. Amazing. So yeah, that is it for us this week. But until next week, Rick, some words of wisdom.
If you ditch a lot in high school and they say that you have to go make it up, don't go to Saturday school. They're lying to you.
We'll see you next week, guys. Peace.